Good afternoon, evening, whenever you see this, feel this, breathe this, do this, my loves. For those of you that are new to my page or my channel, or if this is your first time tuning into the Love Circle podcast, hi, welcome. My name is Cymphony Thompson, and I am a self-care coach on a mission to heal the world through holistic self-care practices. And today is Thoughtful Tuesday. And as we mind our thoughts, and also in continuation of yesterday's episode, I want us to be mindful of the things sent to control us, the things that we let alter our mood, the things that are sent to distract us, the things that we are allowing to control our mind, our body, our spirit. Like y'all know, my birthday was just June 14th, and I've really been doing a lot of introspective work. I've been doing, or as some may say, shadow work unintentionally. Like I always say, like a lot of this work really has been unintentionally. Like I just be sitting there chilling one day and a thought from the past creeps up. And I realized like, hey, that's some stuff you need to work on. Or I'm reminded of past versions of myself where I would have been ashamed of, or I've judged myself, or I find myself judging others for their decisions or how they choose to show up in life. And I'm like, dang, that's some work that you need to really be doing. So since my birthday, I've really been trying to be more cognizant and aware of who Cymphony is, how I choose to show up in spaces, how I'm choosing to receive love, how I'm choosing to love, how I'm choosing to forgive, learning to forgive and accept that sometimes you're not going to be able to forget what happened and you're going to have to keep doing that work, and that's okay. Learning to create a space for myself to be vulnerable. And that's not to say that on this journey I haven't been vulnerable, but as we level up, as we learn more about ourselves, as we uncover things, lies, truths that we told ourselves or that we believed, as I continue to unravel and those people around me are allowing me to unravel, I want to be mindful and share the work that I'm doing. I want to be able to share the knowledge, the love, the ugliness of what I'm experiencing. And that's all this podcast has ever been. So if you ever came over here and you were like, what is she talking about today? Like, I'm just telling you about my life. That's what this podcast is. I know I've been in a really, really dark place in my life, and I've had a lot of people would have been able to save me, or I would have been able to save myself had I had the space or had the person had the capacity to help me save myself. So as a part of me being a part of my own rescue, I am showing up as vulnerable and as often as possible on this podcast, on YouTube, on social media, on whatever stage, whatever spaces that God guides me to, God leads me to. I am showing up as vulnerable and as honest and as transparent as possible because I knew, or I know, that there are past versions of me that needs what I have, needs to hear, needs to feel the things that I know now, that I could teach past versions of myself, and even the things that I'm learning to teach the future versions of myself. So all of this work that I'm doing is definitely for me first, but it's always for you all. So I say all of that to say on this Thoughtful Tuesday that I started back reading a book by Don Miguel Ruiz, and it's called The Mastery of Self. And this is not the first time that I read this book. It's my second time reading it. But the first time that I read it, I got a lot of important gems. So in this space of learning myself and experiencing myself more, I felt like what better way than to start with the mastery of self. So I'm reading this book all over again, and it's really like it shattered a whole lot of my beliefs in the beginning when I read it. But now that I've shattered some of those beliefs and I thought that I was at a point where, oh, okay, I got it. I know who I am. I know my journey. I know my path. God always showed me something different. I always show myself something different. So I was like, let me go back and read some of these old books that I started reading in the beginning of my journey. So I started back reading The Mastery of Self, and it's really like I had aha moments the first time, but now my aha moments are like, aha, like, you know what I mean? It's like a, damn, man, that really is how it is? Dang, that's how I thought? Dang, that's what I gotta unlearn? Dang, this is where I'm at? Like, it's a whole lot of yes and yes. Like, it's different levels to it. It's really been, as always, this journey, and I know God is truly a comedian, because this journey has really been, and if you look back on your life, you can also laugh and see how God is such a comedian, because there are so many different things, so many different phases of ourselves where you're like, dang, man, that's crazy. And you have different levels of aha moments. And me reading this book is not like another level of aha for me. It's another level of opening my eyes. And it's showing me that, like, the things that I prayed for, the experiences, the places, the people, the connections, like all of those things are coming together beautifully. I'm unraveling so beautifully. I am like, my garden is being watered, it's being tended to, it's being maintained. New things are coming into my garden, and old things are being removed from my garden. My garden is flourishing so beautifully. I feel so filled with love and light and positivity, and I mean that on a genuine level. I mean that with all of my being. When I say all of my being, the level of appreciation that I have for everything that has gone on in my life, even me thinking back to certain things that in the moment I was like sad and depressed about, like, I'm appreciative for being sad and depressed in those moments, because now I know what true joy is. Looking at my garden, I know what true joy is. And if you're new to the podcast, when I speak of my garden, I speak of myself, who I am. And my flowers, or the other flowers that are in my garden, are the people, places, and things that I choose to surround myself with. So my loved ones, those are flowers in my garden. And just like I tend to myself and I water my plants, like physical, real life plants, I'm also being cognizant and aware of how I'm watering my other plants. Like my relationship with my husband, my relationship with Sabli, my relationship with my sisters. I'm being mindful of how I'm watering and gardening and tending to all of those relationships too. So I call all of that my garden because I feel like, just like plants, we need maintenance. We need to be taken care of. If you're in the wrong soil, then, or the wrong environment, then you know how that affects you. If you're around the wrong people, you know how that affects you. So this book has really just been another eye-opener, a reminder to always be appreciative, to always be loved, to always show up as yourself authentically. And I know it was easier in the past to show up as whatever version of yourself that people made you feel like you needed to be. But I'm giving you permission to be you. Be yourself. Be yourself so much so that if somebody don't like it, that means they ain't gotta be around you, and you okay with that. Be okay with cutting people off. Be okay with loving people, but not, or be okay with loving people and be okay with not giving them the same compassion or space or what's the word I'm trying to, just be okay with loving people and them not being able to be at your beck and call every moment. There are some people that I genuinely love. There are friendships that I genuinely appreciated and I love. And because they didn't have the capacity, or I didn't have the capacity at the time, those relationships are no longer there. That bond is no longer there. That doesn't mean that I don't love them. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt not having them in my life, not having them experience the things that I'm experiencing right now. That's not to say that once I stop talking to them or they stop talking to me, that the love is gone. No, I still love them. I still hurt for not having that relationship. But sometimes people can't go with you. Sometimes there are certain people that cannot go where you're going. And as painful as it is, as hard as it can be, and as inconsiderate or detached as it sounds, you have to be okay with not being okay with not having people in your life. It's a hard truth. I know. You can still love somebody and still not be able to share a space for them. And they can love you and still not be able to have a space for you in their life. That's okay. That's what this journey is sometimes. There's a season for everything. And in this season, this is what your garden needs. So if y'all are interested in book recommendations, like I said, I'm reading Don Miguel Ruiz, The Mastery of Self. And it helped me the first time, and it's helping me even more this time around. Once I finish this book, I'm going to start another book. I'm on a social media hiatus, so y'all won't see me posting as much. I don't know how long I'm going to do the hiatus, but when y'all see me pop up, y'all will see me. I hope y'all enjoy this Thoughtful Tuesday. I hope that you have been minding your thoughts. I hope that you are in a space to receive whatever God is blessing you with, whatever God is offering you in this time. I pray that you are always filled with so much love, light, and positivity that it is contagious. I hope that it is contagious. I hope that it is contagious. As you are on this journey of being a part of your own rescue, I hope that you're taking notes. I hope that you're actually enjoying or finding joy in these moments. I hope that you have had your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever you're drinking on today. I hope you are replenished. I hope you have an awesome meal. I hope that meal is so orgasmic. Like, you ever had a really, really good meal that felt like an orgasm? I hope you have one of them meals today. Like, a real type of meal. This has been another dope episode of the Love Circle podcast. I am your host, Cymphony Thompson. Continue on your dope ass journey. And as always, fill your cup before you fill anybody else's. I love you.